What's up, Guardians? We have so much to talk about this week as we get acclimated to the new Crucible climate, so to speak. Lots of things being buffed, lots of things being nerfed as we enter into a new era in the Crucible. So it's been fun to kind of play around with some different weapons. Necrochasm here, you'll notice some changes. It used to be 42 in the mag, now it's 54. That's 12 more shots in the magazine, which is helpful. I think it's still low. But it's also doing more precision damage now. It used to do 13, and now it's doing 15. So a little bit of a buff there. You'll also notice with some other exotic auto rifles some changes. Now hard light, no change in terms of damage. It's still 16 to the body, still 20 to the head. No change there. But it's a lot more stable. And the new animation on those bullets is brighter, easier to track, easier to sort of control your ricochets intentionally. And it also increased the number of times that those projectiles can bounce. So some changes there. I've also seen a lot of people using the Monte Carlo now, which used to do 15 to the body, 19 to the head. Now it's on track with hard light, doing 16 to the body, 20 to the head. So a bit of a buff there. Now, damage fall-off is definitely noticeable. You see 11 and 14 for body and precision from that far away. So the damage fall-off is a real thing. So auto rifles, are they contenders now? I think that, yeah, they can be. Now, but I don't want people to get confused here. We'll talk a little bit about auto rifles in just a second. So shaders also got buffed. Check it out. My shaders now applying to the exotic gauntlets here. They used to just be all black. So you'll notice some changes with the shaders as well. Now, moving on to pulse rifles, one of the things that people were concerned about, myself included, was that these pulse rifles like the Messenger and Hopscotch are just going to be unbelievably OP now. And they still kill in the same amount of time, potentially, but man, am I noticing more recoil. I'm finding that in order to land all 6 of those precision shots is going to be much more difficult because the weapon is going to pull straight up a lot more, making the Headseeker perk a lot more needed. It's a lot more necessary now. So the gun bounces a little bit more. You're going to have to manually pull down on the left thumbstick to keep it under control. So that's going to be interesting to get used to. Now here, I'm going 1v1 with a guy using Last Word. And actually came out on top using Atheon's Epilogue of all things. Craziness. Now don't be fooled, Last Word is still a really good gun. It still shreds in close quarters, and the hip fire has increased the accuracy there, not decreased. So it's still a monster in close quarters. So beware of that. Try and keep your distance. It's going to be a lot less accurate at range. Now the same really applies for the Thorn. It's still a fantastic gun. But the main thing they took away was the 2-tap walk away. So it's still really, really solid. You're still going to want to walk away and eat that burn before you re-engage someone. But the entire goal here was to increase the overall time to kill in the meta of the Crucible. So bringing us back to auto rifles. Now you may feel like they really weren't that buffed. They really weren't given much of a boost. They were given a little bit of a boost, and were made a little bit more usable to adapt to the other weapons in the game. But the goal wasn't necessarily to decrease the amount of time it takes to kill someone with an auto rifle, more than just a little bit. Because the idea is that they didn't want this to be a like Call of Duty shooter. It's not whoever sees who first. They really wanted longer gunfights, more gunplay, and they really wanted to increase the overall duration of gunfights and kind of make the overall experience in the Crucible a little bit slower paced and a little bit more tactical. And that's not me knocking on COD at all. I played the crap out of Call of Duty for quite some time. It's just a different game style, and that's not what they're going for here. They want you to be alive and active longer, fewer kills in matches, and overall having a lot better gunplay involved. So that's what they're going for. So you may not feel like the auto rifles got humongously buffed, but that's okay. The idea was that they really wanted to increase the amount of time it takes to kill someone with these weapons like Thorn, like the Last Word, and even like shotguns, so that you have to more often follow up that initial shot with a melee or another shot. So the idea is to increase the overall time to kill. So that's where we're at. That's what this meta is sort of geared towards. So you may not feel like your auto rifles are kicking, but they're going to be able to hang with other things now. Now talking about Blink got real nerfed. and I didn't think so at first, but you see here, I'm able to easily track that guy's movement because of the new animation for the blink, and it shows you this highlighted trail. So it's really easy for me to follow it if your reflexes are quick enough. And when they come out of the blink, they can't do anything. They really increase the amount of time it takes between when you come out of the blink and when you can do anything at all. So blink shotgun has been really nerfed because of that. Now, I think that that's going to really change the way that the game is played. In fact, I've already switched away from blink. I used to really be all about aerial combat on my warlock, kind of hovering up in space and shooting down on opponents, and it was really successful in the early meta of the game. But then the blink shotgun era came, and you really had to adapt to it, and just hanging out in the air like that turned out to be a bad thing. But now I'm getting back to it. I'm no longer using blink on my warlock. I'm using the glide, and I'm already having a ton of fun using the glide ability to get in and out of engagements in 3 dimensions. Having a lot of fun with it. No Land Beyond, you can see they changed the reticle so that you have a easier time seeing through it. It's less obstructive. I like that. I didn't at first. It was a little weird for me because I'm really used to using No Land Beyond. But now that I've played with it a bit, I like it. It seems like I can acquire targets a little bit more easily. It's a lot less obstructive of your vision. And they did increase the overall precision damage of the gun. It's still not going to one-shot anything off of a revive. Unfortunately, it's not going to shoot through overshielded opponents or one-shot Sunsingers who are using Radiance. It's not going to happen. Now, if you get a kill and then follow it up with another precision shot, then you'll get that extra damage from the Master to proc. It's still not quite enough, but it does do a significant amount of damage. You're going to go from doing 283 precision damage to doing 361. So it's a significant increase, and it's fun to play with still, but I don't see it really changing the way that it plays out in the Crucible. I think the major change with No Land Beyond really is with the sights themselves. It's going to be a little bit more user-friendly. So that's kind of where we're at in this current meta. I'm really looking forward to kind of experimenting a bit, kind of finding out what works, what doesn't, what's going to be the new thing. So I'm sure that new exploits and things will be found in the near future. We'll just kind of have to roll with it and see where this whole thing goes. But overall, really excited for the future, and I hope that you guys are too. We'll catch you later, Guardians.